it's Chrissy again, and today I am filming my March wrap-up and my April TBR. I know it's a little late since March is already over and we're already in April, but school, that's the only excuse I have. It's a good one. Anyways, I'm going to start with the ebooks that I read this month because my camera doesn't want to catch them. It's weird and it's just easier. The first ebook I read in the month of March was The Wicked We Have Done. Now this is a new adult book, which I love new adult books, particularly when they aren't strictly contemporary romance because they're hard to come by. Basically, it's a little bit in the future, you don't know when. We've come up with this program, the government or the criminal justice system, that basically judges a person's moral compass. And it's also like the ultimate execution machine. So they put people in this, what they call the compass room, and when you're in the arena, you're confronted with all of these different challenges, and they're supposed to be able to judge whether or not you are morally tarnished, whether you're a bad person or a good person. And if you're a bad person, the program kills you, and if you're a good person, the program is supposed to make sure that you don't die. And things go haywire, and there's a little bit of romance, and it's actually a really good book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and the only reason I didn't give it 5 stars wasn't because anything was wrong with the book, but because it had so much potential, and it just missed the mark a little bit, and that it could have been great. But it was a really good book, and I do recommend it. The second ebook I read in the month of March is actually a novella, The Course of True Love and First Dates, which is the last installment of the Bane Chronicles. I absolutely love the Bane Chronicles. I absolutely love Magnus Bane, and I actually really love Alec, particularly after these books, after the Bane Chronicles. And yes, The Course of True Love and First Date was one of my favorites. I really liked it, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Now to the physical books that I read in the month of March. I have first These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman, still can't say the name, and Megan Spooner. Now I've already talked about this book, so I'm not going to go into much detail about it again. Star-crossed lover, poor soldier boy, rich daddy's girl, and they get stranded on a planet. It's sci-fi, the spaceship crashes, and craziness ensues. Really good book. Gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I have is Panic by Lauren Oliver. And I've also talked about this book in previous videos. So basically, small town, crazy game that the seniors play with life-defying stunts. Follows 2 characters, why they did the game, and why they played the game, and their course and arc and growing up over the course of the game. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I have is The Archived by Victoria Schwab. The book I have after that is The Unbound by Victoria Schwab. I've talked about both of these books. I love both of them. I'm going to try to give a brief summary of The Archived. I won't really say anything about The Unbound because it's the sequel. I don't want to ruin it. The Archived, here it goes. It's about a girl named Mackenzie. She has recently lost her brother who died in a car accident, and she is now a normal girl. She's a keeper, which basically means that she tracks down histories in a place called the Narrows to return them to a place called the Archive. That's a lot of vocabulary. Histories are basically a person's memories stored in something that looks a lot like their body right before their death, and when they wake up they go a little crazy because they have no idea where they are, and the keepers have to track them down and return them to the archive, which are the shelves that they keep the histories on, and they hunt them down the Narrows, which is basically a dark and scary hallway with this really cool ability to read memories and objects. I recommend the book. I know that's not the best description in the world. It's really hard to describe very quickly. Go look it up on Goodreads. Highly recommend it. Not going to talk much about The Unbound, mostly because it's a sequel and it would ruin The Archived. You don't want that. One thing I will say about The Unbound, awesome ending. It was perfect. I give them both 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I have is Half That bad, which I've also discussed in a previous video. So, Half Bad by Sally Green. Very briefly, a world in which black witch and white witches both live among people, somewhat in secret. And the main character is half bad, half good, half black witch, which is the bad witch, and half white witch, which is the good witches. No really reason why, it's declared. And follow his character and his journey to have the ceremony that bestows upon him his powers and how he is treated. Good book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I expect the next one to be 5 out of 5 stars. There was just some world building that was kind of slow to me. Next, I have Heartbeat by Elizabeth Scott. Now, I've also talked about this book in a previous video. It's really good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, mostly because I thought it took a while to get to the action. But it is a book about a girl whose mother just passed away but is being kept alive on ventilators and such because she's pregnant with her half-brother, and her dealing with her stepdad's choice to leave her mother on this machines to keep her alive, and there's also a boy involved who understands her. Gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I have is The Fifth Wave. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. I haven't talked about this book yet, but I'm still going to try to be very brief about it. It is a post-apocalyptic world where aliens have come and taken over. Basically, the aliens have come and there have been 4 waves. The first wave, lights out. The second wave, surfs up. The third wave, pestilence. The fourth wave, silencer. And dun dun dun, what is the 5th wave? Aliens come, they're killing tons and tons of people. They've killed the vast majority of the human race. And this is following the story of a few of those humans. I really recommend it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. The last book I read this month, other than the one I'm still reading, is The Uninvited by Sophie Jordan. I've also talked about this book a lot, so very, very, very brief. It's about a little bit in the future where we have started coding people's DNA and they've discovered what's called the killing gene. And if you have the killing gene, you have homicide tendency syndrome, which is ATS. And if you have HTS, they monitor you and you're kind of like subhuman. And this is about a girl who discovers that she has the killing gene. She was originally a music prodigy, had like the perfect life, and then she finds out that she has the killing gene, and everything falls apart. She loses everything. She gets kicked out of her private school. She has to go to special classes, and she learns that she believed the propaganda herself, and now she's starting to realize that it's all propaganda. And I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, mostly because it made me really, really angry, and that was what it was supposed to do, but it just left me in that angry mood a little bit too long. I wanted someone to root for and to fight back a little bit sooner. But I really love the book, and I really understand the message it was trying to send. That is all the books I read in the month of March. Now for February, I'm really just going to run down the list of books. I'm not going to give much description because most of y'all have heard of these books, and also because I'm trying to not make every video I put online 15 minutes long. The book I'm reading right now is The Throne of Glass. And the next book I plan to read is the sequel, Crown of Midnight. Let's see if I can get that in there. But it is in the mail, and I don't have it yet, but I should get it by tomorrow. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. You know what I mean. After I finish those books, I plan on sometime this month, maybe not directly after those two, reading The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. I want to go with Maas, which is a bind-up of the novellas for the Throne of Glass series. And then I'm going to read Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I don't have that book in yet either, but it is coming in the mail. It is. And I'm going to read that one, and then its sequel, Scarlet, and then its sequel, Cress, marathon it. If that doesn't take up all the month of April, I am going to look at these 3 books as to where I'm going. That is the Altered series with its sequel Erased by Jennifer Rush, and or The Winter's Curse by Marie Rutcossi? Yeah, I have a hard time with Kaufman, and you want me to pronounce that? You get the point. And that is my March wrap-up and February TBR. Please let me know in the comments if you want more extensive reviews on any of the books I read or the books I plan to read. Just let me know. Please subscribe. That's really cool and really nice. Subscribe. Bye.